If your transfers are lifting at the corners, it might not be your film or adhesive, it could be your press. Today, we're breaking down heat presses from hobby tools to workhorses for the print shop. Let's go over this together so you can buy once and press right. Hello and welcome to Pressing Matters. I'm David from DTF Transfers Australia and the Custom T-shirt shop. In today's episode, we are going to talk heat presses. Whether you're a weekend crafter or building a small apparel business, choosing the right heat press will be one of the most important decisions you'll make. Together, let's go over the following. Hobby options like the Cricut EasyPress and similar handheld presses. Entry-level clamshell heat presses, what they do well and where they fall short. Clamshell versus swing away, the pros and cons of each type. Why buying from a reputable wholesaler matters, and the risks with eBay, Amazon, and Facebook Marketplace. And finally, let's talk about second-hand presses, when they're a bargain and when they're a headache. Okay, so let's jump in and get started. If you're just getting started with DTF transfers and doing a few shirts for family, school events, or even craft markets, the Cricut EasyPress is a genuinely handy tool. It's light, heats up quickly, and pairs well with DTF transfers that have been created with a low-temp adhesive. These are perfect for simple projects. You'll also find Spotlight and other craft retailers offer their own handheld heat presses that do a similar job, compact, portable, and easy to store. Where these presses shine, when a low-cost, low-footprint press is needed. Great for tight spaces or areas that double as your printing space. They have a quick setup. Plug it in, set temp and time, let it heat up, and away you go. When a simple project is all that you need, names, numbers, small logos, onesies, tote bags, these are perfect for the EasyPress. Limitations to keep in mind, especially when using DTF transfers. Pressure consistency, hand pressure is hard to keep even, which does matter for DTF transfers. Inconsistent pressure can have effect how the transfer sticks and peels, as well as how long it lasts on the garment. The platen size, these usually come with a smaller heat area, means more presses per design, increasing the risk of uneven presses and results. Output. This style of press will be slow for batch runs. While this is fine for a hobby, it will become quickly frustrating for a small business. The bottom line, for a hobbyist, they're a sensible, budget-friendly start that lets you fit DTF transfers at home. For a small business that is using DTF transfers to decorate their garment, you'll outgrow this press quickly because DTF needs repeatable temperature and firm, even pressure. Now we can talk about the next step up is the entry-level clamshell. You've seen the 30 by 23 centimeter or 38 by 38 centimeter machines online. For a hobbyist, these can be okay. They're inexpensive and can handle simple HTV and DTF transfers, and can be a great option on smaller runs. Let's talk about the pros. They are an affordable way to get a full hinged press that will give more constant pressure. They have a small footprint, the lid lifts up, so they fit on a bench or shared area easily. This also makes storing them easy as well. They are faster than handhelds for small batches. Now the cons to watch out for. The temperature accuracy and evenness can be less than optimal. Cheaper elements can have uneven heating on the plate, especially at the edges. We have even seen some cheap heat presses that lose heat while pressing, and this is not ideal. The pressure can be uneven. Cheaper clamshells can be tighter at the back and lighter at the front if the garment is bulky like a hoodie. Longevity and support is often not great. Spare parts, calibration, and after-sales service can be hit and miss, and you might find that the press wears out quicker than you expected. If you're fitting DTF transfers as a business, especially larger prints, you'll want to step up to a quality press with rock-solid temperature control and even pressure across the platen. That consistency saves time, the need for represses, and wasted garments. If you are looking for a budget small heat press, Spotlight have one that is okay. It is not something that I would be buying myself, but it is affordable and seems to work as you think it would. But as always, do your own research and check them out for yourself. Let's talk and compare the two main types of presses you will want to think about if you are starting a small business, the clamshell and swing-away heat presses. First, let's talk about the clamshell heat press, as these are the most common. First, the pros. These presses are relatively compact. They are great for shops with limited space. Easy to use, the settings and processes are easy for a beginner to understand. Plug it in, adjust the settings, let it heat up and away you go. They have a fast workflow. Place the garment, close the press, then open the press and done. They have an easy rhythm to them. Some presses have an auto-open option available. This will reduce scorching and can speed up production. But in a small workshop, this feature is usually not needed. Now the cons. Pressure angle due to design. The hinge can create slight pressure variance on thicker items. Clearance. Due to the design, these presses need clearance above them. Make sure you think about the space where the press will live when purchasing. Safety. Hands are closer to the heat element when loading and unloading. As by design, the element is exposed when not in use. Now the swing-away heat press. First, the pros. Even, straight-down pressure. Excellent for DTF on varied substrates and for thicker items. Full access to the lower platen. They are easier to position garments and avoid seams or buttons. Versatility. These presses are often better for hard goods and specialty blanks. Next, the cons. They need more space. The head swings to the side, so they will need more bench room. Slightly slower print cycle. If you're doing hundreds of the same tee, you will find the process a little slower. The weight and the cost. Usually heavier and will cost more than clamshell presses of similar size. Let's talk about some DTF-specific tips regardless of style. Look for digital temp and time, and ideally a pressure readout or very consistent mechanical feel. Aim for plus or minus 3 degrees Celsius temperature stability across the platen. For a small t-shirt business, a 40 by 50 centimeter platen is ideal. Interchangeable platens can be a bonus for kids' tees, sleeves, or tricky placements. Here's the part that saves people the most pain. You should buy from a reputable wholesaler or retail shop. In Australia, there are established suppliers that will offer warranty, spare parts, and help. Do not underestimate the value of real after-sales support. If something goes wrong, you want a phone number you can call and someone who actually knows your machine. Let's now talk about why I'm cautious about eBay, Amazon, and Facebook Marketplace. Unknown heaters and electronics. They can look identical online, but internal components can vary wildly. There is no service path. If a controller dies, you're often up for a whole new unit. Specs can be somewhat optimistic. The listed size, wattage, or temperature accuracy doesn't always match reality. If your press is core to your business, support matters as much as the sticker price. There is nothing better than being able to go and look at the press before you buy it. Talk with a rep about the pluses and minuses, and often they can have a talk with you about what press will suit your needs. Let's now talk about second-hand presses. These can be a great budget option, especially if you're buying a known brand and know that it was well looked after. But let's be honest, many presses are sold because they're worn out or not operating properly. Here is a checklist to go over before you hand over your hard-earned cash. Do a heat test. Warm the press up to 180 degrees Celsius. Hold for 10 minutes. Check with an IR thermometer or temp strips. Pay attention at all 4 corners and the center. You want consistency. Pressure test. Place 4 plain sheets of paper at each corner. Operate the press. You should feel resistance on all 4, with similar resistance while the press is closed. Platen flatness and pad. Sight down the platen for warping. Use a metal ruler across corners. The pad on the platen should be resilient, not compressed. These will often need to be replaced. Electronics and timer. Does it overshoot temps? Does the auto open or timer work properly? Any flicker in the display when the press is under load? Cycle count and history. Ask how it was used. DTF every day or occasional HTV. Ask about any repairs that have been done. Find out about spares. Can you still buy a new controller, element, struts, or pad for this model? The green light. Known brands with local support. clean bearings and hinges, even heat, tidy wiring, original manual. Here are some red flags. Burn marks on wiring, inconsistent temps, cracked platen coating, sloppy hinges. When buying second-hand, use a degree of caution and have a good look before you buy. Here are a few recommendations, but remember, I do not know your situation, so use your own common sense when making a choice in purchasing a heat press, using the press for a hobby or low-volume jobs. A handheld press like the Cricut EasyPress or similar from craft retailers like Spotlight, these can be a great option. These are perfect for doing a few shirts a week, simple designs, HTV and DTF transfers that have been created using low-temp adhesive. A side hustle and emerging small t-shirt business. A quality 38 by 38 or a 40 by 50 clamshell with reliable temp control. You'll feel the difference on DTF immediately, as well as a better quality finish that lasts. A growing print shop, a swing-away pneumatic press that often has dual platens. These will give more consistent pressure on thick items and tricky placements, and they will usually be built to last. Always match your press to your volume and your target products. Make sure the press is able to achieve your transfer supplier's recommended press settings. Let's sum all of this up for you. A hobby press is fine to start with when decorating a few teas at home. The budget clamshells are okay for light use and will be better than an EasyPress. But if you're selling decorated t-shirts or applying designs for paying customers, you should invest in a quality heat press. It'll pay for itself with fewer misprints, faster workflow, and happier customers. If you've got questions about presses, leave us a comment and we will get back to you. If you're asking someone else, most probably wants to know as well. You can reach out at DTF Transfers Australia and we will do our best to give you any advice we can. And no, we do not sell heat presses and equipment. We leave this to the wholesalers that have the expertise that you will need in the future. If you found this helpful, please give us a like and follow Pressing Matters. Leave a review and share it with a mate who's about to buy their first heat press. Thanks for listening and happy pressing.